This short story is part of the Futures Calling series sponsored by Plextor. Visit facebook.com/Plextor Global to learn more about our SSD products or to listen to other stories in the series. Forgotten Wars, Forgotten People by Frank Ward. There are real war correspondents, and then there are the hotel jockeys who wait until the bar's happy hour is over, put on a flak jacket, and report from the safest place that they can find that is host to a bit of war damage. They say that most reporters who want to be real war correspondents lose the plot after the second assignment. The first time, you're new, and it's new, and you're scared as hell, but it's fresh and exciting. The second war, you're out there reporting, and it's different, more real, and you know what to expect. You could die, and you know that the dead around you will soon be forgotten by the world. I lost the plot years ago. Maybe too many shots came close. Maybe it was seeing too many bodies and too many 14-year-olds with AKs. I don't know. I started drinking heavily, missed too many deadlines, and ended up here as a freelance journalist covering a long-ignored war in a country in Africa that few people could find on a map. If I can find a good enough story, add a few good photos, or a bit of video, then I can buy a ticket and be on my way home. Maybe I'll work for a local rag and report on charity events, or maybe I'll lecture on media studies at a community college. Right now, I'd be happy to pay next week's hotel bill and have enough left over for a couple of drinks. I just wish I had chosen somewhere with better beer. Anyway, got talking to a few of the local journalists last night and told them a few of my war stories in exchange for a few drinks. The biggest laugh came when I got my old laptop out. I don't think they'd seen one that wasn't 3D. It still has the marks from a ricochet. When the old hard drive failed, I changed it for a Plextor.wmv Pro SSD. So it's a hell of a lot faster than it looks. The local press boys have been nice enough, or is it drunk enough, to offer me a lift out with them tomorrow when they go to watch the president open an elementary school. Should be Pulitzer Prize winning stuff, attending a presidential speech at a school in some godforsaken village. And just as I suspected, 2 hours in a press minibus with faulty AC driving down the worst road in the country. When we get to the village, all the locals and VIPs are in a tent waiting for the president to fly in. There are more soldiers than normal. I sit at the back of the hot tent and kill time trying to get a signal on my phone. 4G nothing, 3G nothing, GSM fallback, also nothing. I switch off my phone to save the battery. The throbbing sound of the president's helicopter helps my hangover no end, and after watching the kids start to perform some kind of welcome song and dance routine, I slip outside the back way to share a cigarette with a young sentry behind the tent. That's when it starts. The shooting. I must be mad. I push my head in the flap and grab my camera from my bag and start filming. The president and his bodyguard are long dead, but the troops are opening up on the journalists, on the local VIPs, and even on the school children in their uniforms. I keep filming until my brain kicks in. I pull out my bag and duck out the tent flap. The guard is outside with a gun pointed at me, maybe because he's just a scared kid himself, or maybe he doesn't feel right shooting someone he's just sharing a smoke with. But he doesn't shoot. That's it. I run like hell, and I keep running, my head hurting from the hangover and from what I've seen. I just run. I stay off the road following it, but running through the grass. Every time a car or truck passes, I just lay down praying that the tall grasses are dense enough to hide me. After an hour or so, I hear the chug of a tractor, and I'm able to get a lift from a farmer on his way to market. What to do? The army is going to notice that there is no fair-skinned, bearded, blonde foreigner among the dead at some point, and they must have seen me go in. There's no going back to the hotel, so on the outskirts of town, I say goodbye to the farmer, buy a razor, soap, and hair gel in a pharmacy, and clean myself up in a stinking stream. 8 hours after leaving the school, I'm in the kind of old cheap hotel where they don't check your ID. For the first time in years, I don't need a drink. I'm too scared. Turn on the TV, the massacre isn't mentioned on the local or international news channels. The president of a country, a room full of VIPs, reporters, and school kids get killed, but no one seems to know about it. I pull the HD footage off my camera, onto the laptop and start editing it into a usable report using all the speed the SSD gives me. I've got it together. Then I make my big mistake. I turn on the cell phone. For a few seconds it works, then the signal is gone. It's the fear. I'm not thinking clearly. The easiest way to trace anyone these days is with their cell phone. I've blown it. Maybe I still have time to upload the report, but the hotel Wi-Fi suddenly disappears as I'm trying to connect. Desperately I scan for open network, but nothing. I hear trucks pull up and peek out of the window. Troops. A second later, a shot. I hear them going from room to room, shouting, searching. Sitting on the floor, tears roll down my cheeks. I'm a real reporter again, and my final report is stuck on my damn computer. The world deserves to know. It should be told what happened, and those people shouldn't be forgotten. The sounds are closer now. Suddenly I see it. Under the corner of the bedside table, an old wired LAN cable, the type they used before everything went wireless. My laptop was about the last generation to have a port for one. I plug it in, and a connection appears. It starts to upload. It's a slow connection. Push the laptop under the table, cover it with a towel, out of the bathroom, sit on the bed to wait. I hear the breaking of wood as the door is kicked in. Visit facebook.com/PlexStoreGlobal to listen to the other stories in the series and to enter Futures Calling contest. Share your prediction for the future of technology for the chance to win your own ultra-fast Plextor SSD.